Fiber Babes, Nicole here with Loom Studios. Today I'm continuing the beginner knitter challenge and we are making a mitered square. How we're going to make this is by casting on a bunch of stitches that's actually going to be two of the sides of this square. We're going to decrease through the middle, and through that process it will shape itself into a square. It's pretty fun to build up and a good way to practice doing knit two together and slip slip knit. I'm going to go over that in this video, but I do have a more detailed tutorial that I just came out with. I'll link that below in the show notes. For this project, we are going to need one stitch marker, a piece of paper or a knitting notebook, and a pencil or pen of your choosing, and knitting needles and yarn, of course. I think that's it. I knit my 30 stitches, which is the first part of my pattern. Now I'm going to knit two together. I like to hold them in place with my finger so I know they're not going anywhere, and then with my needle I'm coming from the left side in through these stitches. Sometimes I wiggle the needles a little bit to loosen it up. Wrap around from back to front, and then down and off. And now I'm placing my stitch marker, so I'm just sliding that on next to my last worked stitch. Now I'm doing the slip slip knit. This stitch is pretty awkward, especially when you're first starting out. So I'm going to put my needle in as if to knit, slide it from the left needle to the right. I'm going to do that 2 times. Now I'm going to hold on to these again, put my left needle in. I like to hold the first stitch that I slipped in place with my thumb a little bit. It just helps keep them in place and secure it a little bit. Wrap around from back to front, and then you're basically just doing the second half of making a knit stitch, kind of wiggling as you need to. So that was my knit 30 stitches, knit 2 together, place marker, slip slip knit. Now I'm going to go ahead and knit the next 30 stitches. So I'm done knitting that row. You can see I probably have too many stitches on this needle length that I have, so they're pretty bunched up. Then nothing bad is going to happen to your knitting, and it will get 2 stitches shorter every other row that you knit. Just make sure that the stitches that you have already knit are always on the bottom, and then everything will be okay. So now that I have knit that, I'm going to get my notebook. I forgot to mark down that I knit the first row, so I'm just going to make tallies. And then I subtracted 1 row, so I'm going to tally that. So every time I knit a row or do a subtraction row, I'm just going to make a tally until I have 28 of each. So this is part of the beginner knitter challenge if you're following along with that. Otherwise, it's just a really good way to practice 2 different kinds of decreasing stitches. So remember that I have the pattern copied in the description box below. Keep up with your knits and your decreases and you will be done in no time. Keep an eye out for my next video, and until then, happy stitching! Why do I always talk with my face like this? What's wrong with me? Why do I do that? Okay, happy stitching, bye!